One of the essential skills that you are building in meditation practice is deep listening. The more you build this skill, the more you will get out of your meditation practice. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can take your listening deeper and deeper and deeper. Hi, my name is Seth Dellinger. I'm a certified Feldenkrais practitioner and a longtime meditator. In addition to the programs I teach, I support clients on a one-on-one basis. If you'd like to find out how I can help you to find more ease in your body and mind and most important relationships in your life, you can use the link below this video to set up a free call. So what is deep listening exactly? Well, I like to think of it as a way of using our attention where the simple act of perception can become like a rich and delicious flow state. When I say that, you might just take a moment to ask yourself, is that how you would describe your experience of meditation? Now, if your answer is no, don't worry. I'm not here to tell you that I have a rich and delicious flow state every single time I sit. But what I can say is that I have that experience more consistently than I ever did in the past. And I can also get to that place much faster than I ever did before. The secret to my success comes from the kind of listening that I'm going to show you in the practice we're going to do together in this video. What I'm going to show you is something you can do in any sitting position. You won't be meditating, but if you do this right before you meditate, I think you'll see how it transforms the experience. We'll jump into the practice in just a couple minutes, and I will be demonstrating, but I also want to explain to you the basic idea ahead of time so you really can get the most out of the process. Basically, you're going to be doing one simple movement. You're going to repeat the movement many times, and every time you do it, you're going to slow the movement down more and more and more. Eventually, you're going to get to the place where someone looking at you wouldn't even really be sure that you were moving. By doing this, what you will discover is what appears to be a very simple action on the surface is actually infinitely rich in detail. The reason why this is so valuable to you as a support for your meditation is because despite the fact that if you look someone who is meditating, they essentially appear to be sitting still. In fact, even in the deepest meditation, you are always moving. The reason I say that is because you're always breathing and you're always maintaining yourself upright in gravity, both of which are not possible without movement. I have another video on this topic, which you might like to watch along with this one, which will make that idea even clearer to you. So as strange as it might sound, I'm going to invite you to think of your meditation as a movement practice. So we're about to start. On the screen, you're going to see me doing the practice with you, but you don't have to watch me closely. I'm just showing you my practice so that you'll understand that I'm absolutely serious about moving slower and slower and slower. Just one last thing before we begin. Sometimes when you slow yourself way down, what happens is you become more keenly aware of uncomfortable sensations that you might not pick up on when you're kind of just powering through things. So I have 3 key recommendations for you if you do encounter discomfort in doing this practice. And I'm going to put those on the screen as well so that if you look up, it'll just be a reminder for you. But very simply, 1, stay connected to your breath at all times. If you find that you're holding your breath, you're definitely straining. So just make sure that breath keeps flowing. A second one is to use the image of having length in your spine. And there's a lot of different ways that we can go into discomfort, but typically if we're sort of collapsing in our posture in some way, well, there's some part of us that is compressing downward in the spine. So just having that general sense of length, especially if you notice that some kind of pain does come up, that might put you in a little bit of a better place as you go through the practice. Lastly, and very important, you don't ever have to complete the movement. If you're making a movement and the more you do it, the more uncomfortable you get, simply stop there and go back to the beginning and pause. That's very important, and it will not, you'll get the same outcome from the practice. The point of the practice isn't the movement that you're going to do so much as the listening to the movement. So don't worry about what the movement actually looks like, but really just you want to really sink into a different way of listening to yourself. Okay, are you ready? Here we go.
So to do this, you're going to need to find a little piece of lint or some little speck of something, some tiny little nothing, but something large enough that you could actually grab it. Maybe just look on the carpet or on a piece of clothing, whatever it is. I'm just going to call it a piece of lint. You can use whatever works for you. So just put this piece of lint somewhere on your thigh. And then pick it up and bring it up in front of your face and look at it. And then put it back down. And now do that again, but take twice as much time. And then do it again. And once again, slow it down. So you can decide exactly how slow is slow, but what I'm inviting you to do here is continuously to discover that there are more details to this simple action than you might think. So if you watch a film and then you get to see that same film again, but there are more frames in the film, it's slowed down and you begin to see details you didn't notice when it was running at full speed. So just the next time you put it down, pause for a moment so you can just reflect on what you've noticed so far. You're slowing down time here. Begin to initiate this movement. How long does it take your hand to actually travel to this little piece of lint? And what is the process of pinching it, maybe between two fingers? How do you move it through the air, perhaps turning it somehow to bring it to your eyes? And how much of you is involved in this action? Your hand, your arm, your shoulder? Do you change the shape of your chest, your spine, your neck? The next time you put the lint down and you pause for a moment, notice what is the process that takes place between the moment where you're doing nothing and then you begin to initiate the action. Do you feel something happen just before you begin to move? Can that moment be slowed down? And whenever you get to the point of finishing this action, what happens in the moment just after you complete the action? Is there a kind of a deactivation when you kind of end the phrase? Is that something that could happen a little bit slower? And when you're reaching slowly to pick up this piece of lint, notice what is your process for aiming your fingers to the precise place that they need to go in order to pick it up? Do you notice if you're maybe moving a little slower still, that at a certain point you realize you're actually going off course and you have to correct and move a little back more in one direction, or you go too far that way and you come back this way? How many times do you change course with your fingers as they move through the air to pick up the lint? Would you say that with all the times you've made this movement now, have you ever done it the same way as 2 times? And what's happening in the environment around you as you do this? What sounds are taking place? Are you aware of your breathing? Can you sense your heartbeat? Are you aware of different thoughts coming and going? When you look at the lint, which eye is leading the action of looking towards that piece of lint? And so the next time you come to put the lint down, just pause for a moment and just notice your sense of how you are now. Is there something different about the way you're relating? And now, how long did it take you to pick up the lint and look at it and put it down the last time you did it? What would it be like to do this movement and the whole thing would take you a minute or 2 minutes or even 5 minutes? So I invite you to explore that, to make one last movement of picking up the lint, noticing the whole process of lifting your hand to move it through the air towards the lint, how you have to aim and course correct, and then how you bring your fingers together to pick it up. What is the path through the air that you take with your hand, with your wrist, with your elbow? How do your head and your eyes, supported by your chest, your spine, and your pelvis below you, reorient your gaze so that you can look to the lint? Notice the act of focusing your eyes. And then how do you put it down? What's that whole process? And even after the action is complete, is there a process of disengaging so that you come back to something that feels more like a neutral, quiet place of not acting? And just notice, how aware are you now of the subtleties, the small little details of your experience compared to the first time when you simply picked up the lint and looked at it and put it down?
Okay. As I said before, after doing this practice, this might be a great time to actually go into your meditation, and you might be able to tell more clearly after experiencing this that when you're sitting and breathing and maintaining yourself upright, that there's those little shifts. I'll also encourage you, if you come back to this practice again, and I'll put a timestamp in the video so that you can skip the introduction, just go straight to the practice. I think you'll find it gets richer and richer every time you do it. All right, so there's your deep listening practice. I think you'll find that if you stick with it, this will lead to a deeper listening in your regular sitting meditation. Hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm going to be making more on this topic soon, creative tools to support your meditation practice. So look out for that. And again, if you'd like to get in touch, just check out the link in the caption of the video, and I'll see you next time. Take care.